Yeah, you know what I have... Okay, fine, we're starting with that. You know what I haven't talked about in a while, though? Testing, in general. Specifically, obviously, as we get Goizo medical history. Also, yes, really quickly, if you didn't see the post, I tried to record a game, and it exploded in my face, so that's not happening. I was trying to start something new in the month. Again, though, when things explode, I think I know what exactly happened, but, yeah, it didn't work out well. So, as we get into Goizo Medical History Random Item Stats Custom Character, let's finally actually set the hardware store, but also, yeah, I had a recording explode in my face. I noticed it before I even ended the recording, as we get Takshisan Knowledge, second encounter, strength, second mystery, and maybe a light check. But yeah, it was by no means a software error. It was actually because of the game I was playing, and so I was just like, well, shrug, guess I'm not playing that game. So I'm probably just gonna end up playing something else entirely, which may, again, we'll see what happens. I did not set the hardware store, by the way, but it's not too late to go back, but you know, at this point we're stuck in it. So that being said, the army knife isn't the worst thing, and I 5 strength is definitely workable, but yeah, I mean, I did not set the store. So, footage, hell, recluse, taxi, and goal. So, taxi, goal, or taxi, recluse, goal. Well, a permutation of one of those two. Now, taxi can just slap me in the face, but if we get a proper army knife, it should be good, because random item stats. The other part about random item stats, I guess I can mention before we just go off topic here, kind of, or off World of Horror, is that in the I want to talk about hardware store. On a random item stat run, hardware store tends to be a bit better just by nature of RNG, and by that I mean if you have random item stats on. So with random item stats on, as I forget to visit the store, you have more weapons that can be randomized to be better or worse, as opposed to the Legal Den, which you just have the armor knife and meat cleaver. So what I'm trying to say is, we might as well stop for a second. It's helpful to explain. So if the army knife were, well, it's 4 damage, and the meat cleaver were 3 damage, this illegal den I would consider redoing my choices in life. But in the hardware store, on the other hand, there are at least 4 weapons, and granted, I'm trying to not include weapons that you wouldn't want to use, like maybe the crowbar. Actually, is it the crowbar? I feel like there's something there. But you have more than 2 weapons, in which, if you have random item stats on, things can be a lot better for you, because, say, the monkey wrench has 4 damage, the crowbar has... basically, 2 or 3 weapons have a damage reduction of 1, then you don't have to worry as much, because maybe the heavy-duty flashlight will have 4 damage, or maybe even 5 damage. So that's what I'm trying to say. So that's the kind of strategy, very small little strategy that goes into picking your stores. But obviously, higher priority goes to whatever your stats are built towards. So in the hardware store, yeah, you usually want strength. Yeah, the meat cleaver is strength too, but you're not guaranteed to get it in a good amount of turns, as opposed to the hardware store, where it's like, okay, I didn't get any strength weapons, all I have is the heavy-duty flashlight, but I can at least pick up the heavy-duty flashlight. Shrug, also broken jaw. That's spells, right? For some reason I thought it was something different. We'll hold off on that until I get a spell I care about. We do have the medical kit as well for random medical history injuries, but you never know, right? So good thing we have running shoes on, or this character starts with running shoes, but you get the point. And let's just fight this, So, we should be able to two-shot this. If not, I will be a little sad, but I guess we're going to find out. So, this should be guaranteed, yeah. 5 damage... For a moment, I forgot the base damage of the meat cleaver right now, because it was randomized to be 5. That's why I did 8. But, right? Am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. Anywho, let's put this map on and move on with life. I forgot if the map can proc during linked custom events. For some reason, I want to say it does. At base. I need to mention that because I was doing some tests. I'm having some custom content trouble, but anywho. let's actually run away because I don't feel like fighting taxis, basically. This is only 2 stamina damage as opposed to the big drive-through, which is, I think, -2 all, if I recall correctly. Boy, it's been a while. But we can trade blows with this, is what I'm trying to say. I can even handcuff this if I so choose. Never mind, I don't have the handcuffs, so throw that out the window. But you get the point. That was by far an easier fight to get through than, I think, 30 to 40 HP of -2 all, question mark? Especially as on a first mystery, so, hey. But let's grab something. I completely forgot, so I think Stars Are Right is bugged, but I don't care, because among the perks that I saw, wasn't really a lot for me to go with. Also, I think I stored the empty bottle, so rip point of stamina, but we'll move on. Also, you're hearing the clickety-clack of my mouse because I am using different settings because I'm wearing different, what do you want to call it? What do you want to say? Peripherals? Peripherals. We can store the bandage for now. If I really need to get rid of Broken Jaw, then I'm already doing something wrong. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. We can enter Recluse now. The question is, am I going to get a bad injury? Am I going to get a bad injury fighting this roommate, or am I going to do a thing? Also, at this point, I mean, I could talk about that too. I wanted to talk about game testing. I'll talk about that after this, but after, basically, you might be wondering, well, Jordan, why is your microphone positioned in such a way where you can hear the clickety-clackings of your mouse? It's because I don't really have a choice in the matter, really. So, this is the best positioning. I promise you, I've been playing around with different positions for my setup, basically, for recording, streaming, so on and so forth. And what I have at the moment is what I have. So, yeah, that's all I can say. Otherwise, as some may have already figured out, yes, when I talk about game testing, this is on the topic of game development, but really it's just game testing in general. Just the bottom line of it is that it takes me normally a few hours to really test a big mechanic that I may be working on. Now, obviously, you're going to be doing more tests as the game goes forward, especially if it's, say, a mechanic that lasts through a game, whether it's whether your game is a few hours to play, or it is a 9-hour story experience. You want to make sure that it's working as intended throughout the duration of your game, I guess, so to say. Nice hallucinations, by the way, but no, that's skittering, but I do want to get rid of... Do I want to get rid of? No, I don't want to get rid of hallucinations. No reason to, but I do want to pop this thingy-majiggy, the foreign cigarettes. I was looking at my empty bottle, and I was like, did I fill that up? I don't think I did, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I could throw the empty bottle at something, but if I need to do that, I'm probably already losing. That's interesting, but no. So instead, we're gonna Witch Tree for funds and grab another pack of cigarettes. Curse Signs. I'm not really planning to do a thing to cast any spells, so that's fine. But yeah, it takes me a few hours to really test something, and so that should kind of already clue you into how long it can take me to get through game development. But really, specifically, it's testing, I guess, the movement into events in RPG Maker. But if we were to draw a parallel, like if you're making a 3D game, it's really the movements of a character in general. Although that can be a lot more buggy based on the little bit that I've floundered around in my life experience. But also just seeing other game developers try to bug test their own 3D games on top of any other game, really. I just have more experience with RPG Maker, so I can tell you there's a lot less that can go wrong. But there's an asterisk, and the asterisk is if you're using plugins. Again, for those who don't know, RPG Maker, you can use custom plugins to basically be more flexible with your work. And you really should, but let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. I also should have brought the brick, but we shouldn't need it here. This should, like, no, we're gonna do this. I didn't smoke the pack of foreign cigarettes, by the way, but it's fine. It's fine. So, we could save some stamina here, but is it guaranteed? Yeah, kind of. 82%. Yeah, I'll take it. And then we have to gamble on this turn as well, so hey. But everything works out. But yeah, specifically what I'm going through is, hey, you step on an event in RPG Maker. So, for example, for those who don't know RPG Maker, say you are stepping on a floorboard and you want it to make a sound. That can be something that an event can do on the map, or you can even make it, well, more likely is that, say you step through a door and you get a jump scare or something happens where a monster starts chasing you. These are the kinds of things that you will normally be doing a lot in RPG Maker, and you're setting up these events, whether it's actual just events by the game standards, or you're setting up regions for where the player walks in, something happens. That's what I'm trying to get at here, and that's specifically what I've been testing pretty much the past day or two, because boy oh boy has I'm getting through it. And then on top of that, all the dialogue and whatnot, that's a very common, as odd as that, say, testing the game, you do want to make sure the dialogue appears correctly, both technically and to your liking as, say, a writer. If you're writing up the plot to a story or writing a character and something looks weird or not, then you want things to be okay. Are we gonna be okay here? I should have popped the 4 cigarettes, really, but I think we'll be fine. I'm going to take a risk here. So the main risk that I usually don't do because I'm lazy is that you're supposed to brace here, but if the next turn is not guaranteed to defeat the enemy, never mind, I lied. But say I had to do, say, 3 attack boosts instead, then there's a chance you take more damage than just taking damage on the first turn. And in World of War, that's a very specific threshold. Let me repeat that. That's a very specific threshold for choosing whether or not you want to just go all out on the first turn and attack. The reason for that is because enemies in World of Horror that have a special attack will never do it on their first turn. And, you know, there's maybe like 1 or 2 examples of something weird happening, but for the most part, the general rule is you cannot be hit by a special attack, usually anything that doubles damage, until the turn after. And it's usually telegraphed, but again, at this point, you want to be safe, which is why making the choice of whether or not you want to defeat or go all out and attack and not brace on the first turn can result in some more HP loss or HP gain if you manage to get lucky or strategize well. But anywho, again, let me take 3 steps back and say World of Horror is not a complicated game to learn, but it is still a game in which you want to, you know, strategize. Also, we have 12 luck. I just realized this character has 12 luck, so hey. But still, if I can take a free out, I'm going to take a free out. I should actually visit the mansion here, because we might get to Lower Doom. I really should also visit the monument, but yeah, we should be okay. I'm actually just going to sell this empty bottle, but we'll visit the mansion twice because I don't believe in myself. Now, if we go through every single forest thing and we fight the Crying Devils, because why not? Pain. Also, I think I've talked about it before, but it's really interesting to be able to use the, I guess, 2 frames of graphics that you have to give, I guess, more life to your, in this case, enemies. Again, this is literally just 2 frames of 2 graphics. So basically 2 images being swapped really quickly together, for those who don't know World of Horror. But it's nice to see how, or it's interesting to see how creators of custom content in World of Horror do things, basically. But anywho, please don't tell me this force is just going to slap me in the face with a whole bunch of events. That would be really, really sad for me. But we'll find out. I could actually, we got really, really lucky there. So, you know what? I might just do one more video, 50-50 chance, but I want to play the hardware store. Not that I have to do it with this character, but I actually wanted to play with the hardware store, so we'll find out. But I should be able to just walk up this lighthouse and be perfectly fine. And to just prove the point, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. So, as you hear me clickety-clacking on the mouse board again, or the mouse, not really much else to say. If there's anything you want, as always, to close out this video, you know what to do, but comments are usually going to be looked at. Sometimes I kind of just tilt my head and don't have anything to add because, I mean, there's not really much else to add. But as for me, I'll just keep going with work. I think there's moments in which I've stopped to, you know, take care of my own body. Obviously, if you didn't know, I'm going through a thing. But yeah, not going to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!